Praia de Luge, once an anonymous holiday village, one of many resorts here in this corner of the Algarve. Now, like Lockerbie, Dunblane and so on before it, suddenly infamous, a place few of us had ever heard of. But now Praia de Luge will be remembered forever for something awful that happened.
Just some more breaking news for you this morning. We're just hearing that a search is underway for a 3-year-old British girl.
The Ocean Club apartments lie at the centre of the village. It was here in late April that Kate and Jerry McCann, doctors from Leicestershire, brought their 3 young children for a week's holiday. On Thursday, May the 3rd, they were photographed carefree beside the pool. At 10 o'clock, when Mrs McCann checked on the youngsters, Madeleine was missing.
Please, if you have Madeleine, let her come home to her mummy, daddy, brother and sister.
Away from the cameras, the McCanns were already worried that the police were not doing enough. The apartment was not immediately sealed off for a thorough forensic examination. A description of a suspect shown by police to villagers was laughable.
What the police should do as soon as they get to a scene is to seal the scene and say, OK, everybody move away now. We are now going to search the apartment. We search the apartment, not you, we search it. And then when you're satisfied that the child is not there, then you seal it off.
Since the start of the Madeleine investigation, I've tried to separate fact from fiction. The theories abounded. One, that Madeleine had woken, wandered out and fallen into a trench dug to lay cables in the village centre. In the following days, the trenches were filled in and cobbles laid. Could Madeleine be under here? Had Madeleine wandered down to the seafront and drowned? With no sign of Madeleine, her parents resolved to keep her disappearance in the public's mind and appealed for her return.
Please, please do not hurt her. Please don't scare her. Please tell us where to find her. Or put her in a place of safety and let somebody know where she is.
Then came what appeared to be a breakthrough. Robert Murat was a British expat who'd grown up in Praia de Luge. Journalists and others had tipped off the police, suspicious that he'd hung around, asked questions and offered to help reporters and detectives with translation. He was questioned twice, declared an arguido, an official suspect, but then freed. British police expertise has been called in, but often it's been too little and too late. I'm told that one of the UK's leading child abduction specialists was asked to help, but only weeks into the investigation. By then, he could already see the mess detectives were in, and he didn't want to risk his reputation here. By now, the McCanns were feeling the first waves of public disquiet. How could they have left their children alone in their beds? Both Catholics, the McCanns made almost daily visits to church, watched by a growing crowd. Remarkably, they were now offered the ultimate religious support.
The way the investigation's going is about thoroughness and making sure that everyone is as confident as possible that that is the case. We expect the same thoroughness and to be treated the same way as anyone else who has been in and around this.
Publicly, at least, the McCanns supported and encouraged the Portuguese police investigation. Privately, it was clear there were tensions. British detectives don't always get it right. However, they have a golden rule. First, clear the ground under your feet. The Portuguese police didn't do that. It would be 100 days before they properly investigated the McCann's apartment. It was a mistake that skewed the investigation. Massive publicity led to reported sightings of Madeleine across Europe and beyond. The McCanns themselves went to Morocco after 2 sightings there on the same day. The fact is, the sightings came to nothing or were proved false, but they fuelled the family's belief that Madeleine was still alive. After 4 months, Madeleine was still missing. There'd been no confirmed sightings of her. The British expat, Robert Murat, remained under suspicion. The police investigation appeared stalled. Then came the most dramatic twist so far. The apartment was re-examined. Forensic tests were done on the McCann's hire car. Kate McCann was ordered in for questioning. She emerged 11 hours later. The next day, more questions. A distinct change of mood.
There's currently a ludicrous suggestion that Blood was found in a hire car that they hired 25 days after Madeleine was taken. And that's been put to Kate, and it's been suggested that she is in some way connected with the death of her daughter.
Kate McCann was an official suspect, an arguido. The next day, her husband got the same treatment. The police believed that Kate McCann had killed Madeleine in some kind of accident at the apartment. Then, with her husband's help, had covered up the crime, concealed the body, moved it later in the hire car and then disposed of it.
It seems to me that they're trying to make the situation fit round a theory. So, they're trying to make all of these bits locked together in order to show them to be guilty in some way. If they were to move a body after 25 days in this heat, then you'd have smelt, I'm sorry to say, you would have smelt it 100 yards away.
The day after being accused, the McCanns left Portugal.
Despite there being so much we wish to say, we are unable to do so, except to say this. We have played no part in the disappearance of our lovely daughter, Madeleine.
If the police are wrong about the McCanns, who could have taken Madeleine? Child traffickers? A childless couple? Unlikely. Given the choice of Madeleine or the younger twins asleep beside her, children with less verbal skill and less likely to remember their past life.
One is left with the only other solution, which is that one or more people, one or two, probably men, abducted her from that place which was accessible and took her away and have abused her. And the chances are highly likely that the body is somewhere within 15 kilometres of where we're sitting, because that's what we know from research, previous cases throughout the world.
In Portugal, the investigation continues. It could take months. Madeleine seems to have vanished into thin air. But little girls don't vanish into thin air.